Hello. We are in an interesting era. We are in an interesting era, an era where, it's difficult to focus on an idea. It's difficult to focus even on ourselves. It's difficult to focus on a program because there's so much information that comes all around us. Just the phone alone has so much, and you could add more, depending on your desires. I mean, there is so much that is available that we are basically spoiled for choice. I think the phrase spoiled for choice now has meaning, proper meaning, compared to, the previous periods that humans have been on Earth. There is an explosion of knowledge right now. And that all influences how we think about ourselves, how we think about other things, how we think about other people. This all this knowledge influences our opinions, influences our actions. It influences us and our environments, our choices and everything. And now it's very important to ask ourselves, what are we becoming as a result of all this information? And there lies the big and all important question. What are you becoming based on what you're feeding yourself in the media? Based on, what you are watching, based on what you're listening to, based on what you are acting on, based on what you are saying to yourself, what you're saying to other people. What are you becoming? Because remember, you could say stuff to other people and that makes you a bully. That is a possibility. You could say things to other people and do things to other people that make you cruel. But you could also do the same thing and it makes you kind, it makes you loving. So it's a choice. Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7 says, what a man thinks, that is what it is, what he is. What he thinks is what he is. It's the same for ladies. What she thinks is what she is. So what are you thinking about? What are we thinking about in the midst of all this information and the bombardment of knowledge and information from all corners? And this is an important thing for us to think about. Do we take a moment? Do we take an hour and stay without our phones? Or do we only not look at our phones when we are not allowed to because maybe we are going through a program, we are attending classes, or we are working and the boss is looking over our shoulders to see what we are doing? So it's important for us to consider that. It's important for us to take time and think about what we are thinking. That's an important thing. So what are you thinking? Think about what you're thinking. Is it building you? What is it making you? Because as you think, that is what you become. So be careful about what you're eating with your ears, with your eyes, with your mouth, whatever sense that you have, whatever you're putting into yourself through that sense influences what becomes of you. It begins to become a part of you. It begins to form a portion of you. It begins to internalize itself into yourself. Do you want to become what you're watching? Do you want to become what you're hearing? Do you want to become what you're listening to, really, not actually what you're hearing? Do you want to become what you're listening to intentionally? Do you want to become your choices today? What you chose today? Would you like to become that? That's important. Is it to say that, the person who asks these questions purports to be the one making the greatest and, the best choices? Probably not. But it's worth thinking about. It makes you, make that one step forward in the right direction. So think about it. Think about what you have been thinking. Think about what you have been watching. Think about what you have been listening to. Even think about what you have been eating. But even more, today we are focusing on the mind. What are you thinking up here? Because that becomes you. Because as you think, that is who you are. That is what you are. I know the context of that verse is regarding somebody who is acting nicely to you, while on the other hand, being the meanest person, you're telling you, eat some more, take a little more from me, while at the same time hating you and thinking bad thoughts about you. I know it talks about that, but today I wanted us to tweak it a little and think about ourselves, to ourselves, what we are putting into ourselves. Is that what we want? Is it what we would like? Is it what we desire? And if we desire that, is it the best thing for us? Thank you very much. You are blessed. Bye bye.